welcome back to Card Smarter.
Not harder.
Stefan,
My name's Daniel.
and we are back here catching up. It's been a while since we've recorded, right?
Yeah, it's been a while. We've done a lot of fun things in life with credit cards, and we're here to talk about the accomplishments that we've had
For
and
sure.
the learns that we've had.
For sure, most
because
definitely.
It's been a good amount of time. So
It has been indeed, and Daniel can definitely talk a little bit more about this with, I guess, potential picker uppers that we've picked up along the
we,
way.
as in me,
As in Daniel, me, I don't know about that, but how's everything, man? You chilling?
yeah, man, just trying to navigate what cards to get,
Yeah,
what cards that I just got, the welcome offers that I have completed,
for sure.
and navigating where are my points going to go
Yeah.
because I have so many points.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I guess we can kind of go into the first thing we were going to talk about, which is what cards do you currently have right now?
Yeah, so I would say it's May. So the last 5 months, I have acquired 3 cards.
Okay.
So 3 cards in the last 5 months.
3 cards in the last 5 months.
Exactly. One of them is a business card, so I'll just start with the first one that I got.
Okay.
The first card that I got is the Marriott Bonvoy Business from
Okay.
American Express. The thought process behind that is I do have vacations planned in August, so I'll be going to Bali and Singapore.
Must be nice.
And yeah,
I'm
points,
like,
right?
dang, dude.
Yeah. But the welcome offer for this card specifically gets 3 free nights at Marriott hotels. So when you factor that in with the amount of points that I got from just spending on the card,
Yeah.
because when we did some little staycations, we stayed at Marriott properties, and that card gets 18 points per dollar at Marriott properties.
Sounds solid.
Yeah, so we
Very,
stayed at
very
one
solid.
place and we got like almost 30,000 points. It was for Valentine's Day.
And that's for one vacation.
That was just for one little
Vacation,
trip.
30,000 points right
Yep.
there. That, oh man, I don't.
Yep. So when you think about the amount of points that we get just by spending on the card, that equated to about 4 free nights in Bali. So that's card number one.
I don't know. That sounds like a steal to me. That's utilizing the points pretty wisely, which is
Yes, exactly. And it's a $150 annual fee. To be
which, if you
transparent.
think about it, that's actually not bad. I mean, only from what you got. I mean, from what you got, transitioning into how much you're paying for that card, I'd say it was worth it for sure. I mean, you compare different cards that are $500+ annual fee, and that's where you start to really think, okay, I need to make sure that this card can give me back something.
Yeah.
To be able to level out that annual fee. So that's
Yeah, the only thing I didn't really like about that card is the amount of spend that you had to do to get the welcome
brother.
offer. It was $6,000 in 6 months, which is kind of like your typical American Express type of a deal.
yeah. That sounds yeah.
Yeah, the way that I think about it, it's 1,000 per month. That's kind of how American Express rolls, unless you get a business card. But
And we could
yeah, we'll talk about that more later.
We'll talk about that a little bit later for sure.
Life goals.
Life goals.
But yeah, so $6,000 in 6 months, and that gave me an additional free night. So we now have 4 free nights in Bali. So we'll be staying there, and then paid cash for the rest of it. Sacrilegious, I know. It's okay. But that was card number one. Full transparency, I probably won't be keeping this card.
Okay.
Past year one, I got it primarily because number one, it's a business card. So no hit on the
Actual personal credit.
Correct. And with American Express, even if it was a personal card, they're kind of the one and done when it comes to hard inquiries, which is really nice. Something that I've learned,
The one and done.
with all the American Express cards that I've got recently. So that is card number one, the Marriott Business from American Express.
Okay.
Card number two, this is actually a really wild story.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Story time.
One of the things that I would always do in my journey, I think you and I kind of talked about this in our previous video, is I would just check for pre-approvals every now and then.
Yeah.
Right? Just to see.
Just to see, play around, mess around, see if we get accepted or not. And
dip your toes in the water, in the sand, whatever you call it. And so the card that I've been after is actually Stefan's favorite card. First card out of Stefan's wallet. anytime a friend asks us what card is it, the Venture X.
The Venture X. I can whip it out of my wallet right now and show. That
Exactly.
thing is.
The story is I've been after this card pretty much since Stefan started
Yeah.
talking about it. It's one of the ones where all the videos are talking about how it's a no-brainer card.
Yeah.
How
for
this
sure.
card pays for itself. It's the only card in existence that actually genuinely pays for itself, because when you factor in the anniversary points of 10,000 points,
10,000,
you are getting $5 back every single year, no matter what, which is super nice. So on a Friday, like a random Friday, I was driving to the gym and I'm just like at a red light. See, this is my life. I'm at a red light and I'm just going through Capital One's pre-approval process.
This dude, using his phone while driving.
I'm
and it's not even that he's like texting anyone. He's calling anyone. He's on social media. No, he's looking to see if he's gonna get
Pre-approval, baby.
For a car. That's crazy.
I was at a red light. Okay. Police, if you're watching this. Stefan, if you're watching this. So I was at a red light. I went through the pre-approval process on a Friday, and they said, "Sorry, can't pre-approve you at this time. You have too many revolving accounts. You have too many open accounts. You know, kind of just the
probably true."
which is probably true. Just like the generic, sorry, but it's a pre-approval, right? So no hard pull, no nothing, and a couple days goes by. I was talking to someone else, Anthony, about this, where a couple days goes by, and on Monday, I just, try again. For what reason? I don't know.
Just like, I need this card. I need it.
It's like SpongeBob in water.
It's like, I need it.
I need it. Yeah. So I went through the pre-approval process. And for some reason, instead of getting the expected, we can't pre-approve you at this time, they said, congratulations, you've been pre-approved for the Venture X.
And his heart dropped. He said,
literally, I thought this was like a moment where this is never going to happen again.
I think I remember that too, because he sent me a picture of the little screenshot of approved, and I'm like, yo, let's go.
Crazy. Venture X bros, let's go.
Venture X bros.
So I got approved for that card. And that is card number 2. That is now my Costco card. That is
Costco card, Visa.
Yes,
sir.
Because when it comes to
throwback, I remember when he first got the Venture, not the Venture X, but the Venture. They just switched it, right? It was Visa before. They changed it to MasterCard. And he's like, dude, I'm gonna get this because I'm gonna use it at Costco. Like, this is gonna be my Costco card. And then he's like, bro, it's MasterCard. And for those who don't know, Costco does not take MasterCard. They only take Visa.
It was one of the single most disappointing moments of my life.
I remember that too. He's like, this card, every time he'd take
I
it
was
out, he'd like,
so
just throw it.
juiced.
Like, dude.
So juiced.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't believe it. I got the Venture card, 75K welcome offer. I'm going to use this at Costco religiously because at the time...
Yeah, I was buying... Yeah, you were that's all, yeah.
I was meal prepping.
Yeah, no.
And
literally.
meal prep courtesy of Kirkland, right?
Literally.
And Costco.
That chicken, you get some rice, get some broccoli, and that's all you need.
And now I can't even use this card.
I know. Unfortunate. But he's in better hands now.
It is what it is.
I guess my question for you is, do you remember the welcome bonus offer for the Venture X?
Yes, it was 75,000 points.
Okay.
And then you spend 4,000 in 3 months.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I do wish they can maybe up the bonus a little bit higher, but I think already with what they're providing and what they're giving too, it's not terrible. You compare it to like the platinum, and sometimes you see those welcome bonus offers that are like 150,000.
Yeah.
And you're like, ooh, that's not bad. But then you look at how much you need to spend in X amount of months, and you're like, that's pretty slim. But that's where we can head into
the final card.
The final card.
Last card that I got has no welcome offer, but it is where most of my spend is, more than anything else combined, and that spend goes to rent. So I think based off of that, I think everybody watching this video automatically is going to figure out.
We know which one.
It's the Built MasterCard.
The only one that
gets point for rent.
For
exactly.
Rent. Yeah, no, for sure.
And so got the Built MasterCard. another like random moment. I think it was like back in March.
These random moments.
Yeah.
He has like these like, I need it.
I wake up from like a nightmare.
You're like, oh my
straight
gosh.
to the computer.
He checks his wallet. He's like, I don't have that one yet. I need it.
It's another card that I've
Just
been
like-
after for such a
No,
long
that's
time.
true. Yeah. And I mean, you look at it too. I mean, $0 annual fee, right? And you get something back for rent, where a lot of people, you need to pay rent. You have to pay rent. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's like one of those no-brainer cards for sure.
Also, one of the cool features, I wouldn't consider this a sign up bonus or a welcome offer by any means, but what they do is when you get approved for the Built MasterCard, the first 5 days of you having the card,
Yeah.
you get 5x points back on everything.
Oh, I think I've seen something. Yeah, I think I've seen that. Where you
So-
can just buy whatever you, or anything.
When I tell you I went nuts,
Oh, brother.
actually, it wasn't too crazy. I only got like a couple of things because I really wanted to try and stay within my means,
Yeah.
especially because the card didn't have a welcome offer. I didn't want that 5x points to blind me like American Express points blind me. So
American Express points for sure.
got my
Blinding.
blinders on, got my American Express shades on, as always. But yeah, so those are the 3 cards that I got. And there's a fun story at the end about exactly what happened with the Built MasterCard. Maybe
Yeah.
this episode, maybe next episode.
That's true.
You got to stay tuned to watch. We're
Gotta
going to
stay
keep it a
tuned.
surprise.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, 3 cards, 5 months, 6 months, and we're looking pretty solid. There's a lot of stuff that we got planned or that I got planned, but yeah, what about you?
You know, shockingly, I have not gotten any cards in the past 5 months, 5 to 6 months. Really nothing. I've been pretty content and stationary with all the cards that I currently have right now. Just because, you know, for me, I'm still in school. I'm trying to make sure that I don't. It's. Don't get me wrong. It's very tempting. It's very,
yeah.
very tempting. You see a lot of these cards, and we can kind of head into potentials that I've been thinking about.
Yeah.
Or, you know, who knows? Maybe by next episode, I'll maybe have it. Maybe not. But yeah, right now, no extra cards. I have started to die down from using my Bank of America customized cash.
Ooh, nice.
I do not touch that thing anymore.
Okay.
I have my Venture X for any
His favorite card.
My favorite card. Any purchases from Costco, I just use that thing. Or gas, I use the Venture X. But
So what you're saying is you've been carding smarter,
while you've been carding,
harder.
it's
That's
okay.
crazy.
It's yeah. I mean,
I think it's a testament to kind of what we talked about in our previous video, where there's definitely cards on your mind. Like you and I have definitely talked about the Sapphire Reserve. We've talked about the Platinum. We've talked about
Platinum for sure.
getting the Sapphire Preferred again because you recently downgraded.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of the whole point as to the 2 types of folks, or maybe just 2 walks of life when it comes to 2 types of credit card connoisseurs, if you will.
Yeah, there you go.
Where one of us just farms welcome offers,
He said farms,
aka me, right? Just sign up bonus after sign up bonus.
Speak. They do him justice in the sense of they will pay him back something, and he will get in return 2 times, 3 times whatever he originally has, right? So it's compared to me where I'll be honest, I'm on that work school grind. I don't have any crazy trips planned or
Yeah, there's no reason for you to get a card that requires an $8,000 spend when there's no way, rhyme or reason that you will be spending that much.
yeah, no, for sure, for sure. That's where it's like, you know, you don't have to get a card every 2-3 months.
Yeah.
As nice as it is, as
There's people that have just recently posted videos how this one person got 3 credit cards in one day. There's another person that
3
got like
credit cards
2.
in one day
Yeah.
is crazy.
But these are folks that are like deep in the credit card game and they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
it's
for
not
sure,
like
for
they're
sure.
just applying willy-nilly.
Yeah, no,
You know?
of course.
They have everything calculated. They know exactly how much spend that they need. They know exactly how much spend that they have.
Yeah.
They have their own businesses. You know, when I was
Yeah, that's a big one.
when I was talking to some people online, they're talking about these sign up welcome offers, spending like 20K like it's nothing, like it's a daily thing for them. When I'm talking to them about like how many Rakuten points they get. Like, I thought I was getting a lot of Rakuten
They're
points
probably getting.
when some dude literally just drops like, yeah, in the last 3 months I've gotten like almost 150,000 Rakuten points. I was like,
You're like, what?
I'm sorry.
You're like, I got like 20.
Yeah, I thought I was making it big when,
You're like, dude, look, I got 18K from a
literally, literally.
There's people out there getting 150,000. That's crazy.
So you never know like who's getting these cards, and you can't judge anybody based off of the decisions that they make, especially because they do their own research. And I
Yeah.
think that's like the most important thing that we're trying to talk about here.
For sure.
And that just leads us to kind of what we got going on in the near future.
Yeah.
I've been having like pretty much existential crises on what cards I'm going to get, what airline I'm going to go for.
That's definitely something that's on your mind.
That's something that's been, I wouldn't say weighing heavy, but it's been something that I've been doing so much research on when it comes to the news of the Sapphire Reserve. Because I don't care too much about Chase. I don't care too much about American Express. The thing for me is I'm at a point in my credit card career, if you call it, right? My credit card life, where I'm trying to maximize all the value of what I spend.
Yeah,
where I spend
100% for sure.
Where it's like I have a card for gas, I have a card for travel, like directly with airlines. That's the platinum. I have a card for groceries and restaurants, which is the gold.
Yeah.
Like I have a solid ecosystem. The Venture X is my catch-all.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing for me is there's going to be lots of traveling. There's going to be lots of hotels.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person where I'm not trying to go directly with specifically one airline. I'm not trying to go specifically with one hotel, because when it comes to hotels specifically, it's just so hit or miss with what you can redeem.
Yeah.
And it's so hit or miss on what hotel is in what part of the world. And that is why personally I prefer to pay cash for my hotels when I can, because if you book through Capital One portal, you get 10 times points, which is insane, right? When you book through Chase's portal, you get 10 times points, which is wild.
Yeah.
American Express is behind, right?
Amex, I think a lot for Amex is the name.
Yeah,
for sure. A lot of people, they see it, and I mean, there's more that can go into it, right? With Amex, I feel like the services that they provide, and a lot of people say it's like a big coupon book with when you have an Amex card, with whether it's a gold, platinum. I mean, those are like the main two that.
Yeah, I mean, business gold, business platinum, same things. But the interesting thing is, with the news of the Sapphire Reserve and with also the new United cards, they have also become, the United cards already confirmed, are now coupon books, where they're essentially taking a page from the American Express book, and they are justifying raising the annual fees because you get $7 million back. You get 70,000 points, right? Like
this back. And
so it's very interesting. And this is kind of where my head is at, because as of right now, I'm not thinking of selecting an airline for international travel. I'm thinking of selecting an airline for domestic travel. And as we talked about before offline, the most important places that I travel, it's to Michigan, which is where my girlfriend's family is, and to New York, which is where my sister is. The airlines that I'm kind of deciding and debating between is American Airlines and United. Now, already American Airlines is ahead of the pack for me, because United does not necessarily fly to New York,
which is unfortunate.
Really sad.
I don't know. Yeah, you'd assume, hopefully, but yeah.
Like, it's the most popular. It's like the biggest. They fly everywhere except for New York. I don't know how that works. They fly to, what is the airport code is EWR, Newark. So it flies to Newark. But from what I've seen from all the videos and all the news, Newark is just an absolute dumpster fire of an airport. So I'm not flying there. There's absolutely no way.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to deal with that.
But United flies virtually everywhere else. Like, it is such a powerful international traveler. Like, they even have Polaris lounges, which are designed for international travel, right? They just got the refresh with their first class for everything. Damn. So that's definitely influencing like which way I go. But the main thing for me is what's going to happen to the Chase Sapphire Reserve.
Yeah. I mean, from what we were talking about offline, the amount of changes that are going to happen to the card. Everyone, the first thing you see on a credit card, I guess for myself is when applying, I look at the annual fee, right? I look at the annual fee because I'm like, how can I bring down everything else so that annual fee isn't super expensive?
Yeah.
$7.95.
So $7.95 annual fee.
$7.95.
Authorized users are no longer free. They are now $195.
Crazy.
So once more, taking it from the American Express playbook because
Yeah,
authorized
that
users
authorized user on Amex is like what, $200?
$195.
Oh my gosh, that's insane.
So, but it also comes with its separate perks.
Yeah.
We don't know what's going to happen with the Sapphire Reserve, but so closing the loop here.
Yeah.
The changes that I absolutely love about the Sapphire Reserve is Chase is focusing on two types of travel. So they're essentially axing like all forms of travel. So it's no longer a 3 times catch all. It's going to be like 1x for a majority of travel, but they've essentially doubled down and they've increased the points you get when you book directly with airlines
Oh yeah.
and directly with hotels.
Interesting.
And for me, directly with hotels is huge.
Is a big one.
Because when my girlfriend travels for work,
Yeah.
we're looking for something that fits within budget.
Yeah.
We're not looking at Hilton. We're not looking at Marriott. We're not looking at IHG.
Yeah.
We're looking at, I have $250 a night,
I gotta
or I
find
have
something.
$300 a night, and whatever fits within those means, that's what's most important.
Yeah.
And you can't do that when you're tied to a Hilton credit card.
That's true.
You can't do
great
that
point.
when you're tied to a Marriott credit card because based off of where you travel, you might not have one. Or
Yeah.
if you do travel there, it might suck. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, no, that's true too. I think it's good being having that. I was gonna say versatility. I don't know if that's the word to use,
Yeah.
but just having many different options in front of you
Yeah.
is nice and more convenient than just being stuck to one.
And that is why there's no better airline card than the Platinum because currently there's no card in existence other than the Platinum where you can directly get tickets through airlines
Yeah,
at their rates.
not at a much more expensive
Correct.
rate that others would charge.
Yeah. And then there's people that I've talked to that just have so many points they don't care what the redemption rate is. But for someone like you and me, where
Yeah.
our spend is limited and our points are like we value our points
Yeah.
so incredibly high that I'm not going to use my points unless the redemption is just nice.
I mean, I guess going into the potential that you had almost, or the purchase you almost made to Japan,
Yeah.
that flight that you were looking at,
Yeah.
that was insane. I don't know if you want to give a little brief.
Yeah. So back in October of last year, American Express had a 40% transfer bonus to Virgin Atlantic. And when I originally thought of that, that was like my first like actual experience with transferring points
Yeah.
because I just got my platinum card maybe August. And so the 40% bonus, I thought it was ridiculous. And I was like, who would do such a thing?
Yeah.
You know, why are they doing this? And I ended up doing a whole bunch of research as far as where can I fly
That is gonna.
with Virgin Atlantic.
Yeah.
Right. And I've always wanted to go to Europe. I've always wanted to go to London. Virgin Atlantic is based out of London. I've wanted to go to Paris. I've wanted to go to Amsterdam. And as I'm doing all of my research as like right routes and flights and things like that,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so that's actually pretty solid. But the one thing that really pushed me over the edge was Virgin Atlantic has direct flights through Vietnam Airlines to Vietnam. My girlfriend's family lives there.
I see.
So as soon as I found that out, I was like, money in the bag.
Yeah.
All these points are about to go to Virgin Atlantic.
Let's jump on it immediately.
Literally. So I transferred about 170,000 points, so my entire platinum welcome offer to Virgin Atlantic, and they gave me about 240,000 points. And so bringing it back to the Japan trip that you're alluding to,
Yeah.
I'm not going on it.
Yeah. No.
But
no.
I found out through a little bit more research that Virgin Atlantic and ANA, so all Nippon Airways,
Yeah.
they have a handshake deal where they used to have a partnership. They still kind of do.
Yeah.
But you can book ANA flights through Virgin Atlantic. The only way you could do that is by calling.
That's interesting.
There was some pretty crazy like stipulations as to
Yeah.
like how you can redeem them or when you can redeem them. But TLDR, long story short, whatever you want to call it, you can only book the flights 330 days in advance
Oh yeah.
or up to 330 days in advance. So if it's 331 days out, you can't. You have to wait. When ANA and United, they would release their flights 350 days in advance, 355 days in advance.
Meaning that gap in between, those
Makes it
seats can easily be taken from
makes it real
other
difficult.
people purchasing that stuff.
Exactly. So it got to a
Dang.
point, where I found like first class flights on ANA through United's website where there was like one seat available, two seats available. And when you look at the point redemption value, if you look at United, those are 110,000 points per ticket. So 220 for two first class seats.
I was about to
to
say that's
Japan.
first class. Yeah.
That's first class. But with Virgin Atlantic, it's only 87,000 points. So you
Which is
get
crazy.
you get a
think about 875. I mean, I'm sorry, 887,000. That's the equivalent to around what, $870?
$870. So that's
$870.
per person. So about 1,600, 1,700. And when you go on Google Flights and you look at these tickets, they're anywhere
things are-
between $12,000 per person to $15,000 per person.
It's insane.
And essentially, going full circle, this is why I don't really, it's not important to me when it comes to international airlines because I prioritize transfer partners. United is great. American Airlines is great. They fly to all these places.
Yeah.
But like when you think about like premier upper class, I don't really think of American Airlines. I
No.
don't really think of Delta. Like you could throw United on that list,
Yeah.
but if you compare United with like Singapore Airlines,
Oh,
doesn't matter.
no, that's
Yeah.
two different ball games. Right
When you
there.
think of United versus Qatar Airlines with their Q suites,
You cannot.
doesn't
nope,
matter.
No.
When you
yeah.
think of them versus what's the other one? ANA with
ANA.
the suite doesn't hold a candle, you know? Not only that, but it's just like that's just like my thought process when it comes to that. The Japan trip didn't end up working out, but I ended up booking my dream Europe trip. So the whole reason why I transferred them originally
is the reason why.
exactly. And then
Yeah,
everything is upper class, so everything is first class. So we're flying Virgin Atlantic
Dang.
there and back. The cost for the tickets, like if you were to look at cash value, it's probably close to like $9,000.
Sheesh. 9K.
$9,000. That's just there, and then about another 4,000, 5,000 back. I don't know why it's less.
$1,300.
Yeah, and then you're also factoring in all the flights that we do while we're in Europe because we're gonna take a train from London to Paris. We're gonna take a train from Paris to Zurich, and then we're gonna fly from Zurich to Amsterdam. And that flight, business class, was like 8,000 points per person, which is crazy.
Oh man,
$80 a seat for
that's worth it.
yeah. So this is why I get all the credit cards, and this is why I got all the points. And
See, there's reasoning behind this compared to like me. If I were to apply for all these credit cards, I just have no plans for traveling internationally, even domestically too. You know what I mean? So it's like I'd get them, I'd go for the welcome bonus, and I'd be like, all right, what next? I'm like,
yep.
there's nothing. But
yeah, so going back to the Sapphire Reserve, that's why it's such a powerful change for me because my money goes to the highest, or in this case, the lowest bidder. Whereas other people that are deep in the game have all these points, they don't care what the redemption is. They just don't want to pay cash because they have all these points.
Yeah.
And that I completely agree. So that's going to be essentially the deciding factor on what team I play on when it comes to next year when I can get Chase cards.
what team he plays on?
Exactly. It's what is Chase going to do with their Sapphire Reserve?
Yeah.
Are the rumored changes that we're seeing going to go live?
And what will Amex do to fire back at them?
Exactly.
and
So-
that'll be interesting because I feel like Amex has always done a good job, I guess, refreshing their cards, depending on when. At first, with like the gold when it was originally, oh my god, $250? Yeah,
$250, yep.
$250 annual fee. They bumped it up to $325. At first, I'm like, Oh my gosh, here we go. Amex trying to take more money.
Yep.
But then you start to see a little bit of the extra stuff that they had and the Resi credit.
It's pretty fire.
That Resi credit was fire. I remember I went to some like rooftop bar and I spent like I think it was 100 and hopefully my dad's not watching, but $170. I think it was around $170. You know, it was a nice spot. I had a few drinks and stuff, and
A few drinks, $170.
I think oh man.
My guy went to Choto Mate, bro. Yeah.
Sheesh.
I went there. I also got the Resi credit when I went there,
Yeah.
but it was me and my friend. We spent $360. It was ridiculous.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
never going there
170
again.
compared to 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But you get what is it? Yeah, every 6 months you get $50 that you can use
$50
towards
back.
it, and it's like if I think it was worth it because it's like I'm already gonna go there no matter what, right? So it's like that already brings down that 325 down to what 175. I mean,
What's your
275.
math?
Oh my god, 275. Oh
So
my
that,
gosh.
that so that brings
You're 85.
hashtag break character.
Yeah.
It brings the 325 down to 275.
275. You get your Dunkin' credit every single month. And Daniel put me onto this trick, right?
We talk about Grubhub.
No, we're talking about Dunkin' credit.
Oh, okay,
Dunkin'
okay.
credit every month. So Amex will give you $7 every month that you can use for Dunkin' Donuts credit. And there's no Dunkin' nearby in the peninsula over here.
Yeah, there's
The
one in like
closest-
South City or something.
It's like somewhere where it's like completely out the way. But what you do is you set a reminder every single month.
Yep.
Refill your Dunkin' credit or balance by putting in $7, and literally every month just do it once. $7, boom. $7, boom. $7, boom. And then by the end of like 6 months, you look at your thing, and you're like, oh shoot, I just got money sitting there. So when
$42.
$42,
Yeah, there we go. Math.
$42.
Yeah.
Yeah, 7 times 6, 42.
It's nice for me because when we go to Michigan, there's Dunkin' Donuts on every block. So,
That's interesting.
well, not every block,
Yeah,
but like they're all over the place.
It's much more common. I think of like when you're like driving to LA or if you're going to SoCal, if you're on a road trip.
Yep.
There's Dunkins nearby, so it's definitely convenient. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting what Amex does to fire back at Chase
That's even if they do anything.
if they do anything.
We don't.
I was gonna bring up going into I guess potential pickups or
Yep.
what we're thinking about picking up. I know you kind of gave your little spiel on what.
Yeah, so it really depends on what happens with the Sapphire Reserve and what American Express's response is.
Yeah.
Because what I'm after is the points directly with hotels.
Yeah.
That is going to be the single most important thing for me. And if American Express doesn't level the playing field potentially, or raise the bar, or raise the roof,
Raise the roof.
then I'm going to have to go with Chase. And then the Chase trifecta is going to be my new thing. I'm going to close every single American Express card I have.
Which will be painful for Daniel. 'Cause
Correct.
I know he doesn't want to do that.
My first ones, you know?
No one wants to. Amex is just top tier.
Yeah, but my roadmap would look something like getting the Chase trifecta and then looking into United co-branded credit cards.
Valid.
And then after that, I would most likely also get Hyatt co-branded credit
Okay.
cards because World of Hyatt has single-handedly the best redemption point blank period. And those
Point
would
blank
essentially
period.
those would be like my international hotels of choice.
That's valid.
And then if American Express does raise the bar,
Yeah.
then ultimately I will not go for Chase at all. And then I will stick with the American Express ecosystem, and then I will incorporate city credit cards. So
Ooh.
I will have...
Do you have the Costco?
No. But
Do you shop at Costco often?
all the time.
Exactly. So, I mean,
But here's the thing. I will go with city credit cards. So like the
just
Strata
the
Premier.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah.
And
the
then
Strata
I would
Premier is
get the
pretty-
custom cash.
custom cash.
And
yeah.
then I would get just an ungodly amount of American Airlines credit cards. American Airlines co-branded. So
Valid.
the good thing is I'm not going to be getting any of those cards anytime soon because my goal is to stay under the 524 status.
Yeah.
Do not want to go above that
Nope.
because when all this hits the fan, right, I want to be in a strategic place to just like execute. And if I
and
continue...
not slowly work up to it. More
Correct.
Just like boom.
Correct. So at that point, I'll be able to go from welcome offer to welcome offer similarly to what I did with American Express,
Yeah.
but it would be with Chase or with Citi. So we'll see kind of what that looks like.
No, for sure. I guess future potentials for me or cards that I've been thinking about. You're gonna be like, what the heck? But recently, I've been ordering a handful of things off of Amazon.
Okay, so Amazon
The
Prime
Visa
card,
Prime,
yeah, yeah,
which isn't terrible. It's only if you spend a lot on Amazon, it's definitely worth it. You get
yeah,
5 times back. It's not points. It's just
cashback,
5% cash back, which is
cashback.
yeah, which is like the little I don't know if it's necessarily worth it.
I think having a good balance of cashback and points cards is everybody's kind of end game.
For
I
sure.
see a lot of the content creators today, they're going into that field where we've kind of accumulated all the points that we need, and now I just want to spend less money.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think there's definitely like the Amazon card is one of the top like cashback cards because I mean 5% back at Whole Foods,
Whole Foods as
5%
well.
back
Yeah, I
at
was gonna,
everything else.
yeah.
Like I just bought some Adidas through Adidas and Amazon Prime delivered it, which was like the craziest thing I've seen.
What the heck?
And yeah, like so Amazon's kind of taken over. So you don't know what you can get at Amazon. You don't know what type of partnerships there are. So I mean, 5% off on some big purchases on Amazon
Oh,
is
heck
pretty
yeah.
good.
No, for sure, for sure.
Especially if you need to return it. I mean, like convenience is just so crucial
Yeah,
nowadays.
no, for sure. Especially with Amazon too, they make it very easy. So I
Yeah.
think it's
So Amazon Prime, Visa.
Amazon Prime Visa. I don't really think we talked about the business gold, but comparing the normal gold to the business gold I've been thinking about. I don't necessarily need it, but hearing the stuff that it gives back, the one thing that gets me is what's the intro?
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I think the spend is something more of a mountain that people need to climb. $15,000 in 3 months
That is crazy.
pretty wild.
That is wild.
It is
That
pretty
is
wild. This is where essentially you get your entire family, your entire friend ecosystem to support you with with you're paying for everything, bro.
That's yeah.
You're
No,
paying
you
for
have
everything,
to.
bro.
You have to. You got to make something work, especially with $15,000
3 months.
in 3 months is
Just
crazy.
see, just you and I talking about this, like that's how wild it is to people like us.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But the main reason behind it is because you get 4 times back from
Gas,
gas, and then
phone bills.
phone bill, electronics,
Yeah, so if you shop at Apple, for example, you get 4 points per dollar.
which is not bad. And I think for people who purchase Apple products pretty often,
Yep.
monthly, whether it's for
Yep.
ourselves or for other people, using
That's
that'll
pretty
definitely pay back.
substantial.
Yeah, no, for sure. So
But yeah, I mean, so the business goal, I think for the 375 annual fee, I feel like the amount of points that you get is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because the platinum is 695 and you don't get 200,000 points, but the platinum you only need to spend $8,000 in 6 months.
not 15,000 in
Right.
3 months.
So I would always recommend just getting the platinum and then spending $300 more on the annual fee, but then saving
Saving
$7,000,
7,000,
right?
yeah.
So that's kind of another way that I would look at it.
Yeah.
Where once more, like if I were to recommend a card, I would probably just climb the American Express ladder.
Yeah.
Or I mean, if I were you, I would probably downgrade my gold to a green. I know, but hear me out. You would get an upgrade offer back to the gold almost a day or two later.
They're like, come back.
No,
We
seriously,
want you
what
to
they'll
pay-
do is they'll give you an upgrade offer like 24 hours later, 48 hours later, and it's going to be like upgrade to the gold, spend $3,000 in 4 months, and then we'll give you 40,000 member reward points.
Which, if you think about it, you're just getting that for free, depending on how much you spend. Which
Yeah.
$3,000 in 4 months. Yeah, that's
But also the green is probably another card that I would personally look at getting. Like
Yeah.
if all this news comes out and nothing is what I like or what I want,
green.
or
is
if I
the
do
next-
stick with American Express, then it would be the green
Yeah.
because it's 3 times on all travel. which is currently what the Reserve has right now. And American Express does not have travel, period.
I see.
Unless you use the Blue Business Plus, but it's like 2 times points. It's so mid.
Yeah, but that's why you have the venture for the travel.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
I
also
was checking.
that's also 2 points, right? I want more. I want
That's
3,
true.
4, 5.
No,
Like,
for sure, that's valid.
I also don't want to be limited to a travel portal because I think we all know how.
We do not like travel
Yeah.
portals
No,
because they just try to minimize them.
and it's
Points
more
and stuff,
expensive. Like,
Yeah, it does not. They increase it for no reason whatsoever. Well, there's a reason obviously, but it's
yeah, because they gotta tax.
they gotta make their money.
But it's like we were looking at hotels to stay in South San Francisco or like Mountain View, and on American Express's travel portal is like $400 a night, and then the exact same room, exact same hotel on like Trivago or like Expedia or just like on the Hotel Direct was like half the price, and I'm like, this is so interesting. But anyways, yeah. So thinking about business gold, thinking about the Amazon Prime Visa.
Amazon Prime Visa.
I would also throw like another card for you would be the Chase Freedom Flex because
Chase
you
Freedom
already have
I downgraded. That's
you go.
something new.
you got the Freedom, right?
Yeah, so I went from Sapphire Preferred to Freedom. If you're like, why didn't you downgrade just the Freedom Unlimited? I wanted to make sure it was Freedom straight, just so I can get a welcome bonus for that Freedom Unlimited. Or what is it, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Just so, yeah, because it's the same exact card. There's a couple differences though.
Well, I mean, like the Freedom, it's a card that you can't actually apply for. You have to call them or message them, and then they downgrade that specifically. But the Freedom is essentially the Freedom Flex. So it's one of the most powerful cards in the game right now, other than the City Custom Cash.
Yeah.
And that gives you 5 times points back on rotating categories. So
I'm getting it for Amazon right now, which is the reason why I'm like, I don't know if I should go for the
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
Amazon Prime.
Exactly. But yeah, so we talked about a whole lot of things. We talked about kind of what we've been up to in the last 6-7 months. Talked about the cards that I got. Talked about the cards that you didn't get, that you want to get.
Yeah.
And then we kind of sprinkled in a little bit of, like my travel plans. Yeah, we're definitely like 2 different stages when it comes to like finances
No, for
and,
sure.
and credit cards. But I think for me, like my priority is like I want to travel, and your priority is I want to save money.
Yeah.
No,
literally.
which I think it's real. There's so many people that you kind of can't do both. You can't travel and save money because
because traveling at the end of the day is going to be expensive no matter what.
for us, it's like in order to get these points, you need to spend money, and I think that's kind
true.
of like the decision that people need to make, where
Yeah.
these points are an investment, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at. Like I'm willing to invest. I want to invest in it.
Yeah.
Because that's like a huge priority for me and what I want to accomplish. And then one day, you'll get there too.
One day. It'll happen.
Yep. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Appreciate y'all listening.
Yep.
Hearing our fun stories.
Episode 2. On to many more.
Yep.
Right.
And then we got Card Smarter. We got Card Harder.
That's the dynamic duo.
That dynamic duo.
Card Smarter.
Card Smarter, not harder.
Not harder. Yeah.